name is Eric Jenkins. I will be your professor for COMM 3002, Argumentation and Contemporary Issues. This slideshow just covers the syllabus, and on Thursday you'll have the opportunity to ask me questions in person via WebEx. Please sign up for an opportunity to do so via the Google document that's linked in the syllabus, and you can get out your syllabus now and follow along. There's also the link to WebEx, which is where we will do our individual meetings. So on Thursday, as you sign up for one of the time slots, we will have 5 minutes where you can come in and introduce yourself and ask questions. So be sure to do that, as well as watch this slideshow this week. Again, my name is Eric Jenkins. I'm an associate professor of communication, and I've been at UC for this is my 11th year now. This class is an intersection of two of my areas of expertise. The first area of expertise is argumentation. I was a college debater. In fact, my team won the college debate national championship my senior year as the team that won the most rounds that year. So I have a lot of experience with argumentation and debate, and we'll be debating in this class a hot button topic. And the second area of expertise I study is media studies. In particular, I have a book coming out about social media and political discussion on social media. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? So what I'm going to do in this class, I'm going to use a lot of examples from arguments in social media as about things not to do, how to become a better arguer, a more rational arguer, how to evaluate your sources and such. And I hope that this class will not only prepare you for other classes, teaching you how to make more rational arguments, how to support your arguments more, but I think this will also help you in the future as you get engaged in debates and such on social media, and as you try to discern yourself what the truth is from all of the information that we have floating all around us. So with that said, let's get started. You can see my contact information here. Obviously, email will be the best way to contact me. Please don't send emails via Canvas. Send them directly to my UC email because you'll get a quicker response. I also understand that these are trying times and that you have a lot of things you're going to have to be juggling this semester. So I want you to know that I'll be here for you whenever I possibly can. So we can set appointments to meet if you're having issues, and please do so, whether those issues be about our class, about health or health of a family member, or whatever it happens to be. I'm here for you in any way possible. So typically in this class we do debates, and that's no different this time, but usually I allow the students to pick the topic. This time around I couldn't think of a good way to do that together in a brainstorming session, so I just picked the topics for us this time around, and I just asked myself, what's like a real contemporary issue, like the class title says, that everyone seems to be debating, and I chose police reform as the topics. So you'll see here is our resolutions. We'll be debating the following two resolutions. For our first debate, the resolution is resolved. There's clear evidence of racism in U.S. policing. So the affirmative side, that is the side in favor of the resolution, will offer evidence of racism in U.S. policing, define what they mean as racism, and back up that claim. And the negative will argue either that the evidence is not clear, that maybe there is police abuse, but it's not racism, or maybe also offer an alternative definition of racism and defend that. We'll do that for one debate, and then for the last two debates, you'll debate each side of this topic, the affirmative side and the negative side. Resolution 2 is resolved. Cities should engage in a policy of defunding the police. So in this topic, you'll define what your policy of defunding the police will be. You'll talk about what the harm is, why we need to engage in this policy, and then also what the solution is, why that policy will take care of the problem. And the negative will argue against that policy, either that there's not a harm, right, that maybe there's not racism in U.S. policing, maybe that the solution won't work, like, one of the policies of defunding the police is to replace police officers with more social workers, and so you could argue that that won't work to solve crime. Or you can argue for what are called disadvantages. That is, what's something that might go wrong if we defunded the police. For instance, you might say crime will go up if the police are defunded. So the purpose of this class is to teach you how to argue, and not argue in the sense of social media where we're yelling at each other and calling each other names, but argument in the sense of rational and logical argumentation. So we'll learn how to do research, we'll learn how to find quality sources, we'll learn how to choose and analyze those sources, we'll learn how to rebut arguments depending on where they are and what type of argument they might be. We'll go through some of the learning objectives. Obviously, I think analyzing and critically evaluating ideas and arguments will be one of the key outcomes of this class, as well as improving your public presentation skills through our debates and your writing and research skills as we get prepared for those debates. The thing I really expect from you can be summarized with 2 words: engagement and effort. I try when I grade to grade things based on how much effort you put in. These are debates. There's no one correct answer. The arguments are up for dispute. So I don't try to judge you based on whether I think your answer is correct or not, but how much research you use, how much time you spent crafting your speech, using all of your speech time. All of these are different things that indicate effort. And if you put forth the effort, then I try to reward you with the grade. Second is engagement. I expect you to be engaged. That is, I expect you to be doing the research and sharing the research with your fellow students. And I expect you to come to the debates and pay attention and offer. You will be judging the debates as well as participating in them, and so offering your own evaluation of these debates. If you're engaged and you put forth the effort, I expect everyone to have a good educational experience and to have high grades. I'm not going to go through all of these course policies specifically, but ask that you read them. Basically, they say you should abide by the UC Student Code of Conduct. That is, no plagiarism or other ethical violations. That'll be hard to do since, you'll have to write your own speeches here. Computer proficiency, that you need to have access to the internet and access to a computer. And some stuff about diversity and inclusion. That is that we're going to treat everyone with respect. Again, unlike social media, in our debates, we're going to focus on rational arguments, not name calling and not yelling. Those things are just a waste of time. They're going to demonstrate a lack of effort. And I will punish people if you're not respectful in your debates. If you're dealing with sexual harassment or some mental health problems, please here's some information on who you can contact as well. And if you have accessibility issues with a learning disability, please contact me. There's no sort of timed assignments. So as long as you can do a public speech, you should be fine in this class. There is an attendance policy. This is only for our WebEx meetings. That's mostly on the days that we have debates. I'll allow you to miss 2 of those meetings. They'll always take place at 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. On Tuesdays and Thursdays. And you can miss 2 of them, excused or unexcused. But if you miss more than that, I reserve the right to penalize you a half a letter grade. This is important information here where we will have our meetings. You can sign up for them at this Google Doc link. So just click the link and put your name on one of the slots. The first time to do that will be for these meetings on Thursday of the first week for syllabus questions. They're all just 5-minute time slots. So please sign up ASAP to reserve your time slot. And the other meetings will be team meetings besides the debates. So those will be with you and your other two partners. Each debate team will be a team of 3. Each debate will have 3 speeches by your team. So you'll each do 1 speech. The average length of time of each speech is 5 minutes. So in total, for between 3 debates, you'll be doing about 15 minutes of total speaking time. So not a lot of effort there. The only other effort in the class will be to do the research for the debates. And we'll cover that here in a minute. There's a link here, number 3, as well, for all of our WebEx meetings. So when we have debates and when we have these team meetings and individual meetings, that's the link that you go to see those things. Now for the debates, I'm not going to require that everyone be present on the days of the debates if you're not debating that day, because I will post recordings of all of these debates. You will have to watch the debate at one time or another, so I encourage you to do so live. It'll just makes more sense. It's built into your schedule already for 11 to 12:20. Go ahead and watch them and then issue your decision. But if for some reason you can't, you can always watch the recording and send me your decision that way. So here's the grades in the class. The briefs are our research assignment. That's 20% of the grade, as you can see. And then each debate is 25% of the class. And the only other score here is those debate decisions. So after each debate, I'll ask you to send me what your decision was on that debate. So we'll go through the assignments briefly, although I will cover each of these in more detail when the time comes. For instance, we'll be talking about how to do the debates on multiple days in the class. And I'll also post a grading rubric for the debates on Canvas. But the briefs are basically our research assignments. And what's going to happen is I have a blog for our class. You see the link here. I'll invite you to be an author of the blog. And on 8 different occasions, on 8 different days, you'll have to post basically a synopsis of one argument you could make that you found doing research in the class. So what you'll do is you'll do some research, you'll brief up an argument, which is basically like cutting and pasting a paragraph or 2 from that research, giving us a little summary of what the argument is, putting the citation there, and then cutting and pasting the support for that argument. And then we'll all have access to everyone's research. And I'll show you on the blog. I'm actually going to just open this right now. I can't. I'll show you when we cover the brief assignment, the blog. But it's nice because the blog has it laid out so that everyone can see very quickly and kind of skim through what the arguments are that are out there and use them to craft your debate speech. So once again, you'll see on the syllabus coming up, we'll explain this brief assignment in more detail then. But it's basically doing the research and giving us a little bit of a synopsis of that research on our blog so everyone has access to those sources to back up their arguments in the debates. For the debates, debate 1, 2, and 3, you and your 2 partners will debate 3 times via WebEx. Again, the first debate is on Resolution 1, and the second and third debates are on Resolution 2. Each on Resolution 2, you will argue once on the affirmative side and once on the negative side. What we're doing is called flip side debating, where you debate both sides of a resolution. And I think it's a very important tactic to learn, because debating both sides of something makes you really understand both sides and really evaluate both sides to the best of your ability. These scores on the debates will be basically on the quality and effort that you put into. So how much you demonstrate your critical thinking and rebuttal skills, your familiarity with your research, and your ability to analyze and evaluate the research and the arguments of the other side. The class as a whole will judge the debates. You'll send in those debate decisions, and the overall winner of each debate will receive 10 bonus points. And the overall winner of my ballot as the professor will also receive 10 bonus points. That could be up to 20 bonus points on a debate. But it could also be split. The class could vote for one team and I could vote for another team. So the way that this works is each team will have a record out of 2 decisions per debate. So, there's the class decision and my decision. You could go 2-0, you could go 1-1, you could go 0-2. And over time, there will be 3 debates times 2, so 6 total decisions, and you'll end up with a record of like 5-1 or 4-2 or 3-3, etc. And I will end up rewarding the top couple of teams towards the end of the semester as well. Again, I'll post a grading rubric for this on Canvas as the time comes. And we'll go through, we're going to watch a video of a debate. I'm going to go through how to build a case in a debate. We're going to go through how to do a rebuttal in a debate and all of those things. All of the speaker obligations for each different speech, what you should be doing in those speeches. We'll cover that as well. So don't worry about, what the debate looks like right now and whatnot. We'll cover that in a lot more detail as the time comes. And then the final grade is just the debate decisions. Basically, you can either watch the debate live via WebEx or you can watch the recording for up to 48 hours after the debate. And then just send me an email that says who you voted for, that is the affirmative team or the negative team, and about a 1-paragraph explanation of why. I thought this team's crime disadvantage was really superior. I thought this team did a great job defending their definition of racism, and that's why I voted for them. So about 1 paragraph and who you voted for. This is just a completion grade. If you do it, you'll get all of the points. So there's only 9 debates, and I'm asking that you do that for 6 out of the 9 debates. That is, you won't send me a decision when you're in the debate itself. So for all the debates that you aren't a part of, you will go ahead and send me a decision. I believe that's all for the grades. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. We'll go over the schedule just a little bit here. You can see that our first debates start a little over a month, about 5 weeks from today. So we're already kind of looking forward to that. And the briefs start right at the beginning of September, as you can see on September 8th. So next class period on the 27th, we'll have the individual meetings. And I'll also post a debate for you to watch on Canvas as well. You can watch that debate at your leisure. It's not a grade or anything like that, but I know a lot of people like to watch one just to get a sense of what the debates look like. So go ahead and do that. So then after that, anytime it says slideshow, we'll have a video like this one that you should watch. Like I said, I'll try to keep them all to 15 minutes or less. Now, that means I'm going to have to go fast and also cut some content that we might cover normally. So please ask questions. If I didn't cover something, if I didn't explain something good enough, please ask questions, because that will end up serving the purpose of not being live in class for these slideshows. I'll give you a weekly update announcement every week on like, what are you supposed to do this week? And I'll say, watch this slideshow, watch that slideshow, turn in brief number 1, right? Or this week is our debates, so be sure to be there at 11 o'clock. So just pay attention to those. When something says that it's due, like it does right here, brief 1 due, brief 2 due, that's due by the start of class time on that day. So by 11 a.m. on September 8th, your brief number 1 will be due, etc. Our first debates start at the end of the month. I want to mention one other thing about those debates. You'll notice before debate 1 every day, we have a prep day. That's a day that's reserved for you and your teammates to work together to build your case. And on those days, we'll have 10-minute time slots where you and your teammates can come in and ask me questions. One thing I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you share with your opponents what your main arguments are going to be. You don't have to give them all the details, but what your main points will be, what we'll call advantages and disadvantages. So what your main advantage or your main disadvantage will be. You'll share that with your opponent so that they know what to start prepping rebuttals for. And so during those team meetings, ideally, hopefully, you have shared with the other team what your arguments will be. And we can spend that time together going over how we might rebuttal this, what some of the research is that's out there that might really help you answer those arguments and whatnot. I find these are really useful time periods. I do it in class normally where I go around to each team and help them prep for the debate. It's sort of like me taking on the role of your coach. And we'll do that via WebEx as well. WebEx is like Zoom for those of you that aren't familiar. So we'll have our debates there, and then we'll do some more briefs and kind of get ready for debate 2. Have some team meetings again, do debate 2. You'll notice I've canceled class on election day. That's November 3rd. I encourage you, this is a contemporary issues class, and I encourage you to vote. I think it's your civic duty. You might not be ecstatic about all the options, but that's one of the things about a representative democracy is, they have to represent 330 million people, so not everyone's going to get their favorite choice, but we still should vote and make a decision. So if you haven't registered, there's still time to do so. Take that time to go to the polls, and let's all be good citizens on that day. Then between the debates, you'll see I'm going to reserve one day for some tips from the debates based off of my comments that I'll send you. And after every debate, I'll send you all of the class decisions so you can read through those. And I'll also send you my decision, which will usually be a couple pages long. A pretty detailed and extensive explanation of why I thought the arguments went the way that they did and why I thought the team won the way that they did. Then we'll have debate 3 in mid-November. And then we have Thanksgiving and no more class after Thanksgiving. There's actually only one class day that's supposed to occur then. And I just thought, we could try to cram in a debate on that day, but I was worried with people going home over Thanksgiving and stuff that people might end up getting sick or not want to come back to campus after Thanksgiving. So all you have to do in that last week there is please fill out your student evals about the class. Let me know, especially in those, how the online class went and whether you thought the debates were a good way to handle doing online class and whatnot. But basically, after 11:19, and for some of you after 11:12, you will have no more obligations in this class. And I hope that helps you during a hectic time of the end of the semester to get done with your other work that you might have to do as well. Again, I've taught this class a number of times, and every time it ends up being really fun. I know some of you might be nervous about doing debates. A lot of people are. They say public speaking is the number one fear in polls consistently. And you know what number 2 is? It's death. So there's a joke that goes, most people would rather be in the coffin than doing the eulogy. And I know that some of you might be feeling that way about the idea of debates, but I encourage you to hang in there because it's not as intimidating as you think. You'll have your partners to lean on, and it really is fun. It's sort of like an academic sport, and the competition, I find, brings out the best in people. So we're going to have some fun. We're going to learn how to be better arguers than the trolls that we see online, and we're going to learn a lot about our specific topic of police reform, but we'll also learn quite a bit about how to make a rational and well-researched argument on any topic you might want to talk about for the rest of your life. I look forward to seeing you on Thursday, and please come with questions. Take care.